Hey guys, how's it going? Let me just, gotta get Instagram up. Hang on. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, so why is this not working? There we go. Okay. Hang on, guys. Okay, let's see here. Let me put this up. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Hi, guys. How's it going? So, welcome. It's Thursday, and we're here tonight. We're going to do a live. And so, I'm always happy to kind of come on and kind of share a little bit about, the things that have come up, topics I want to talk about. And so I've kind of decided to kind of make Thursdays my lives. And I decided to kind of every Thursday do something a little bit more random, something a little bit different. So tonight we're going to do a letters from spirit. So tonight I'm going to read a letter from the guides for us, and then we'll kind of talk about it. And then next week I'm going to come on again, and we're going to talk about the universe. So next week on Thursday, I'll come on again and we'll talk about the universe. That's always fun. Hi, guys. How you guys doing? So welcome, everyone. You know, um, last year we did lots of letters from spirit, and I haven't ever done any on Instagram. So I think this might be the first time I'm actually going to read a letter from the guides. And I want to share how this letter came about because I always like to share kind of how inspiration kind of comes to me and how sometimes spontaneously it comes. And I do that because, you guys are getting a lot of inspiration through the day as well. And, maybe you aren't aware. And so I always just kind of like to share how it kind of comes to me, and maybe you'll kind of be open to fun new ways of how inspiration kind of comes your way. So we're going to talk about this letter. So before we do, I'm just going to kind of talk a minute about a couple of things I have coming up first, and then I'm going to explain to you how this letter came. I'm going to read the letter. We'll talk about it, and obviously want to have any questions you guys have or anything like that. Hey guys, hey Gia, how's it going? Hey Lori, hey Melissa, hey Paula, hey Joanne, hi Joyce, hi Dawn, hi Abby. I was just thinking about you today. Hi Tracy, how are you? Hi Erin, hey Lisa, hey Linda. How you guys all doing? So, welcome everybody. Thanks for chiming in, and all of you guys on Instagram as well. Thank you. So, hi Arlene. Hi Linda. How you guys doing? So, last week I didn't really get a chance to talk too much on my comments. The last couple weeks I've done lives, I kind of just did it off the cuff, and so when I kind of get into that flow, I like to kind of stay in that flow as inspiration is kind of pouring into me. I don't want to get sidetracked. So last week and the week before, I kind of was staying on that flow. So I didn't really get to engage as much with you guys, but please know I read all of your comments and everything afterwards once I got home and was in my PJs. So please know whether I respond to your comment or not, I really do read them. And so please know that. But tonight I'll try to miss you too, girl. So I'm thinking about coming out to Texas, Gia. So I am thinking about that. Hey, Anne, how are you? How you guys doing? Hello, Leslie Ford. How you guys doing? So, okay, so we're going to get in. So first and foremost, just a couple of things I want to talk about just real quickly is this coming Saturday sessions with Edgar. It's going to be this Saturday. If you guys want to join, it's $15. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock is the last time you could buy a ticket for Saturday sessions, because I'm sending out all the Zoom links tomorrow evening. And so it's going to be an hour and a half. It's going to be this Saturday. It's on increasing your energy, both emotionally and spiritually. Usually that's the topic the guides want to talk about. Also, just to kind of let you guys know, when I do my Edgar sessions, I'm doing it where I'm actually going to read their lesson. They call it a lesson. So I'm going to read the lesson that I've channeled, and then I'm going to actually bring them into the room. And so they'll actually come on and give a message to you guys who are joining live. So I'll actually kind of move myself out of the way and actually allow the guides to step in, and they'll share a message. So that is how it's going to go. And then we'll kind of talk about it, and they actually have an exercise they want to do with you guys on the lesson plan, which is on increasing your energy, both spiritually and emotionally. So that's going to be Saturday. You can get tickets on my website. They're $15. It's an hour and a half course. It starts at 9 in the morning Pacific time. So just do the math. So Eastern time, it would be noon. So Eastern time, it's noon. Pacific time, it's going to be 9 a.m. And then do the math in between. So on my website, you'll have the all the times. So anyway, that's going to be this coming Saturday, and I'm excited to do these and kind of build upon the teachings with the guides in a new fun way where we can be a little more interactive. So that's going to be this Saturday. So please join me if you'd like. Also, I have a Kisses from Heaven that's going to be coming up on March 20th. So it's Saturday, March 20th, and I'll be doing messages from loved ones. So you guys can join, get a ticket, and I'm just going to randomly just be giving messages to different people that are joining in on the event. So that's going to be March 20th. It'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So do the math. Eastern time, that would be 8 o'clock. So anyway, do the math. It'll be on my website as well. You can get tickets for Saturday sessions or Kisses from Heaven on my website on my upcoming events page. Also, I'm going to be teaching a mediumship course. I'm going to have 2 dates, both on a Thursday and a Saturday. It'll be in April. And it's about giving you guys a deeper understanding of mediumship. It's going to be about how I approach the work. It's going to be about how to help you guys understand a little bit deeper the connection, the purpose, the way loved ones communicate, and give you an opportunity to try and make a connection also. So kind of fun. So I'll kind of guide you through that. So it's going to be it's a 3-hour workshop. It's going to be, when is it? It is, I can't read. It is going to be Thursday, April 22nd. And Saturday, April 24th. Both of them will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So do the math. Again, so do the math in your time zone. But I'm excited about that course. A lot of people have asked me to kind of teach mediumship. And I think it's really important that I really want to share mediumship in a way, how I approach the work and my feelings on it, and how I receive information and ways. So whether you're a medium or you're not a medium, this is an opportunity just to kind of understand how I approach the work, how I receive information, how I can better teach those joining, how information is received, how to approach when information is coming a specific way, give you an opportunity to try to make a connection and how to build upon that, and some tools to leave the workshop with. So that's going to be in April, the 22nd and the 24th. I'm offering 2 dates. I want to keep the group small so I can really help you guys understand mediumship and help work with you towards kind of receiving a connection. Sometimes, people, they want to work as a medium. Sometimes you wonder if you have any mediumistic abilities. I certainly didn't know I did until I approached a workshop that came in my feed one day. And that's when it kind of became real clear to me, when I was starting to have these experiences. So sometimes you just want to kind of know how to get closer to your own loved ones that are in spirit, and how you can better understand how spirit works and comes in to give messages and communication. So for whatever it is for you, I'm going to kind of tackle a little bit of all of that. So it'll be a fun workshop where I hope all of you leave with a little something of why you stepped into that workshop, and leave you with some lovely tools and give you an opportunity to try to make a connection. Isn't that exciting? Love it. Okay, just want to say hi to you guys on Insta. How you guys doing? Hi, Xtine. Is that right? Xtine Machine. Is that right? Hi, Dana Delaney. Hi, the Masala girl. Hey, darling. Hey, Sadna. How are you? Hi, Julianne. How are you guys all? Juliana, hey guys. Okay, so thanks y'all for coming on. So if you're interested in maybe learning a little bit about mediumship with me, I recommend you join that beginning course of mediumship that I'm going to kind of tackle that kind of stuff. All right, next week, Thursday, I'm going to come on and do another Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and it's going to be on the universe. So I'm going to talk about how the universe communicates. So I'm a big communicator. I'm a chatty Cathy, aren't I? But the universe is always communicating with us too. And so I'm going to share with you why I decided to make that the next week topic, because something happened to me that made me realize that again. So I'm like, oh, that would be a good live. So I'll share that also. But tonight, so my letter from Spirit tonight, I'm going to get into this. So my letter from Spirit tonight is, it came to me as I was driving, and I actually pulled over at a Courtyard Marriott in the parking lot at a Courtyard Marriott, and I pulled up in the parking lot, and I parked under a tree, and I always keep a recorder with me, and because I often get inspired when I'm out on the road, and so I kept my microphone and my recorder, and I just sat. I felt this need to want to share a channeling session that I felt was coming, and I knew it was not for Saturday sessions. I knew it was for Facebook Live because I felt that, and so I just knew this was a way that the guides wanted to stay connected with those of you on Facebook. For many of you who have watched many of my lives where I shared letters from Spirit, I knew that this was for Facebook. So this is not a lesson for Saturday sessions, but for you guys on Facebook. So I'm going to share it. I'm going to get into it. And I thought it was kind of fun how I just had to pull up into a parking lot in Simi Valley, actually. And I was driving and I pulled over and I actually sat and channeled this session, which was about 26 minutes or 28 minutes or something like that, that I channeled, but it'll be faster, obviously, because I'm going to read it. So you won't get the highs and lows of the voice channeling, but I'm going to share that. So let me just see if anyone has any questions before we get going. Kat Marie, thank you so much for my reading, as well as my best friend's reading. We appreciate you and Edgar so much and left feeling overwhelmed with comfort. I highly recommend booking a reading with Monica or an activity, as she has to offer you more. You won't be disappointed. Oh, thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. Thank you, darling. Hi, Stephanie. I tried to book. I've heard nothing. I don't understand what that means, Stephanie. What do you mean you've tried to book, but you've heard nothing? I don't know what that means, so help elaborate and I can better answer that for you. I don't know what you mean by that, Stephanie. Hi, Bonnie. How are you, darling? How you guys doing? Hi, Laura. Love that. Hi, Monica. Look at all the little hugs and kisses and stars. Love that. Hey, Jennifer. How are you, sweetheart? Thanks for joining, sweetheart. Look at all these wonderful emojis and all these little rainbows and hearts and stars and hugs. Love it. Thank you guys so much. Wonderful. And thank you, Kat, for sharing that. Okay, so Stephanie, let me know if you were trying to book a reading and you couldn't. I don't know if that's what you mean. I'm sorry. I always try to answer my voicemails. Sometimes it takes a couple of days because I'm busy, but I do get back to everybody. So I don't know if that's what you mean. So help me explain and I will answer you. Okay. So also best way, maybe also a good way to get back to me instead of voicemails is emails, because I can respond quicker, because I can respond to those emails later in the evening when I don't want to bother somebody and phone you, because sometimes I'm working till 8 o'clock at night. And so I get to my emails afterwards. So email is always the best way. Also, I just want to say too, if you guys are interested in booking a reading, sometimes people want to book readings with me and they can't work through my calendar system. So please just email me. I'm happy to just call you direct and book with you. You don't have to go through the calendar system. If you're one that doesn't like to go through my calendar system, you could just email me and I will respond if you give me your phone number. Okay. I will call you, I promise. So, okay. Let's get into the letter. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so I talked about all of that. So you guys know about my Kisses from Heaven, you know about my Saturday sessions, you know about my mediumship course, and you know that next Thursday I'm coming back on to talk about the universe. So we're good. So we can get going. Okay, so here is what I received as I channeled for you guys, and it's called Your Recipe in Life. So here we go. So get relaxed, get cozy, close your eyes, take it in, and just be relaxed and cozy and enjoy. And I hope you enjoy. All right. So this, guys, is for you. Indeed, It is time to sit and work together again in a special way, a way that is always intended to allow you to know yourself more and to accept yourself more and to realize that what you are is special, is great. So, as we come together here for this moment, this time to be together, allowing us to just sit and feel what it is that needs to be expressed. For expression is a very important thing where you are. There must be expression in order to receive, really, for without expression, there cannot be receiving. Without putting out, you cannot get back. And we say that there are many of you who perhaps struggle, you see, a little about how they show up in their day and how they show up in their day is right. Is it a right way to show up in their day at all? Are you showing up correctly in your day? Are they, in fact, showing up in a way where they can express something for either themselves or for others? Many ask. Within you, all, there is a need, truly. There is a need to want to have expression. In your homes, when you open the pantry door in your kitchens and you see all the items on your shelves, certain things you've purchased to cook with and never did, and now are expired items that sit on the shelves in your pantry. Some items you have used and then forgotten about. And there are things too that you buy over and over again to cook with the same recipe again and again. And isn't life a bit of a recipe? A recipe that you're making each and every day. As you prepare your dinners at home in your kitchens, and you're mixing a little of this and a little of that to create that meal, and that joy that you feel when it turns out well, and it tastes delicious, and those that have eaten the meal have expressed their enjoyment of it. That feels very nice, does it not? To be able to create that recipe for that meal that gave pleasure. And through that making process of that recipe, you are expressing, you see. You're expressing through creating of that meal, the salt, the paprika, the breadcrumbs, the cup of milk, or whatever it is that you are making with. And for that dish, that recipe to be prepared properly, you must have the ingredients, and sometimes you may fall short of some of those ingredients, and you substitute. You add a little something of that instead of a little something of this, and sometimes you find that it still tastes quite good. But what you will find when you cook a meal and you prepare that recipe and you do not give the recipe the ingredients that is needed, and you eliminate too much, it never does quite turn out the way it should. Do you understand? For the recipe has fallen short a bit, for it is a bit incomplete. It needing the precise ingredients to allow it to taste the way you should and the way you choose it to, and you want it to taste. The recipe is there. It is wanting to be prepared. It is giving you the outline of how to make it with a good outcome. And perhaps there are some shortcuts at times that need to be made. And in that time, you realize the recipe sometimes does not turn out so good. And then you sit and you eat and you realize, perhaps it needed more sugar. Perhaps it needed some salt. Perhaps it needed that garlic that I didn't put in it. And maybe it would have given a better kick, in fact, if I would have added that garlic. Now it tastes a bit bland. And each of you in life are creating recipes outside of the kitchen as well as inside the kitchen. You going through the day, making your day a recipe. How are you preparing your day? Are you giving your day what it is that it's needed? Are you following the recipe for contentment, for pleasure, for joy? And what we wish to ask you is, do you have that recipe for yourself, you see? Do you have that recipe, and are you working towards creating that for yourself? Think about that for just a moment. It is no different in your life to create something from your day, your daily recipe. It is no different to do this than it is to prepare a meatloaf and follow the ingredients that you need to prepare for that. Many of you have made a meatloaf. You know it requires breadcrumbs and it requires perhaps some ketchup, a cup of milk. And you know that when you perhaps create that meatloaf and you do not give it the breadcrumbs or you do not give it the cup of milk, It does not have that quite consistency and the moisture that the meatloaf needs, and it becomes out of the oven a bit dry. And what we wish to say to you here is you are each every day creating meatloaf for yourself. We use meatloaf just as a way for you to understand a recipe. You see, it can be anything at all, whatever resonates with you. And isn't it true as well that there are so many recipes in a cookbook, but not all will be of your liking? And it is very important that we select recipes for our meals that we enjoy. For what fun and purpose is it to cook, to sit, and to eat your meal if you do not like the way it tastes? And we say many of you are spending much of your time creating a recipe in your day that doesn't taste very good to you. Choosing to prepare your day in a way that does not taste the way you like, that does not have the flavor you choose or want or desire. And yet many of you go every day preparing a recipe similar to the last, where your day feels incomplete, with not much purpose, lacking desire, or what flavor of joy within the things that you do. And we say to you here, it is perhaps possible that you are in fact pooling recipes for your day that do not taste good. And is there another recipe perhaps you can select from instead? Can you begin creating recipes for your life that has more flavor? Now, some of you are at the heart adventurous people. So your life not feeling that way now, perhaps you need a bit more spice added to your recipe in your day. And we just use this as an example for you to understand that within you is the chef, and within you are always creating recipes. But are you a creative chef that is creating new exciting recipes for your menu for the week? Placing things on your calendar that are fun, placing new things on your calendar that have not been done before, finding new ways to enjoy your day, your week, your evening. Or are you doing the same mundane things day in and day out, making a meatloaf every single day? And then when it comes tiresome, you decide to begin to take shortcuts, and then you decide not to add the cup of milk or add the ketchup, and you do not include perhaps enough of the breadcrumbs. And you begin to notice that your meatloaf is now becoming a bit tasteless, a bit dry. And you feel that way often in your days and in your life, that your day is a bit tasteless, lacking flavor. And we say for you to consider yourself as the chef. And are you one that is just staying with one recipe in your life? Can you be the chef that opens up the cookbook and begins to sift through the different pages? The cookbook of life, you see. And begin sifting through the different pages that are available for you, you see. Life is always giving you things to get your attention, things that you can ponder and play with and create from. Ask self if it is something you would enjoy having. As you step into your day in life, can you look towards all the things life offers? Do you do this? Do you offer things to your life for yourself in your days? New recipes you can create to make your day, your meal in life more enjoyable, flavorful, satisfying. For life should be flavorful, and life should be satisfying, and life should be enjoyable, just as the meal that you create. When you step into your day and you step into the areas in your life that you feel a bit bland in, and the areas in your life that seem to not have quite the flavor you would like, you need to add a bit more seasoning, you see, or add a new recipe altogether. And so many of you just stay within the day in and your day out doing the same thing each day, each evening. Think about this a moment. Are your nights often similar? Coming home and doing the same thing? Are your mornings often the same, starting off the same way each day? Now, if you are one that is doing this and you are finding great joy and pleasure, then we say it is in fact a meal that is flavorful for you, enjoyable and satisfying, and we say keep on doing it. There is no problem with doing what the same thing is each and every day if it is gratifying, enjoyable, and satisfying to you. we say it is fine. But for those of you who are feeling a bit bland, the meatloaf, a bit tasteless, flavorless, your days, your evenings a bit flavorless, then we say it's time to choose a new recipe. And what we mean is perhaps do something different in the evening, perhaps do something entirely different in the day, go against what is typical and do something quite different. Do you understand what we mean? We use recipe here as a way for you to understand that to make the meal, you must follow the recipe, and it is okay to play with the recipe. But when you start eliminating too many things that is required for that recipe to become what it is meant to become, you will be lacking the flavor, and that will give you a meal that is not enjoyable. And it is time in your life to maybe clear up a new recipe for yourself. What we just wish for you to understand is if there is areas in your life, be that home life, be that career life, be that personal growth, be that relationships, be that physical fitness, be that anything, this applies to anything in your life where you feel the meal is a bit bland, a bit tasteless, flavorless, and you're finding not the enjoyment you hope for, then it is time to pull out a new recipe in that area in your life. It is time for you to be the chef and become creative and curious and be willing to play with new ingredients, new recipes that will offer you new flavors. And through the process, you will be expressing yourself as the great chef that you are. And as you are creating new recipes for your life, your curiosity will grow and your enjoyment of being that chef will grow. And then you will look into other areas of your life that may feel bland and you will want to spice that up as well. And what we just wish for you to understand is that great need and the great value of putting on that chef cap and sifting through the pages of your cookbook in life, your life experiences that life gives you, and start saying, I will add some of that. I will try to create a little bit of this. I'm going to play a bit there more. And as you begin to go through those areas in your life and do this, your thermometer and your meat will begin to be cooked quite right, and you will begin to have more days that are enjoyable and satisfied and plentiful. And we say that this is what life is about. It is about tasting the different things that life has to offer you. Are you tasting? And if you could just sit a moment and just think about all of the things in life that show up for you and ask yourself now, am I willing to play with that a bit? Can I create a little bit more of that in my life? Can I add a little bit of that ingredient into my life? For some of you, big changes are difficult. So we say it is fine to make small changes. So as you bake chocolate chip cookies, perhaps instead of the chocolate chips, try the white chocolate chips or try peanut butter instead. Explore and expand gradually a bit. To have flavor in your life does not mean you need to change and be radical in your ways of expressing yourself. In any of these areas we speak of, wanting to cook up new things in your area, in your life that feel flavorless, you can begin by just adding a few new ingredients, a few extra seasonings, and start there. But we wish to say to you here is to begin living life with more flavor. Allow yourself to be that chef and play and be creative and allow yourself to add new recipes in your day and in your weeks that will always allow you to have that feeling that is satisfying, like a great meal that is satisfying as well. And we say if you can start approaching your days and your weeks with the intention of being that chef and wanting to add some wonderful ingredients to your life, whether that be adding physical fitness, whether that be adding some hobbies, whether that be strengthening the relationship that is in your life by being more playful, or whatever it is for you. But we say to begin trying to step yourself into days more this way. And we know through this process, you will be one that creates recipes in your life that is Michelin, that is top shelf, that is 5 stars, because you are each capable of creating that for your life. And we wish for you to get cooking. And we'll leave you here with just the opportunity to once again help you see life with the possibilities. And as you go to the grocery store and you look at the seasoning shelf at the grocery store and you see many, many seasonings, know too that there is many ways in your life where you may season and add flavor to your life. It is available for you. The shelf is always stocked and full for you. It is only for you to decide to be the chef and to begin cooking with the intention of building your life that is satisfying and flavorful for you. It is always our pleasure to come forward to add to you new ways of being able to live your life the best way you can. And we say, you absolutely can. And until next time, know that there is great love for you here. It is so. Edgar. Okay, so that was hard to read because it was so dark. I was having a really hard time reading the words. It got really dark, like all of a sudden, it just got really dark on my desk. And so that was really hard to read. So my apologies, that was not the best reading. But you get the idea, right? So you understand the idea here is that they're speaking about creating a little bit more flavor in our lives, that perhaps maybe we have gotten a little too mundane. And I really understood this because I know when I go home at night, I literally do the same thing every time, like every single time. And it kind of got me thinking a little bit that perhaps maybe I've become a little bit mundane. I've become a little bit flavorless in how I'm approaching my life in certain areas. And they said certain areas in your life. So what they were saying is really to take a look at like our meal in life, and they used it as cooking as a way. And again, the guides are always trying to give us something that we can understand visually, so we can connect the dots. And the meal that they use meatloaf because I guess they felt everyone has at one point made a meatloaf, but any meal that resonates with you. But they're saying is sometimes maybe we do too much of the same thing all the time. And they said, now, if it's something that you're doing that is always giving you, happiness, then continue on. Then it's perfect. That area in your life needs no seasoning. But if there's areas in your life that you can look at that is feeling a little bit bland, a little bit boring, a little bit flavorless, then it's maybe necessary to add some spices. So they said you don't have to change the whole recipe, but maybe add some different spices in areas. So they said maybe if you're in a relationship and it's getting a little bit dull, maybe let's spice that up a little bit, like maybe do some different things that you don't normally do to kind of add a little flavor into that area in your life. Maybe they said it's a hobby, maybe you don't have any, and it's time to maybe start looking through the cookbook in life and starting to look at maybe some areas in which you might want to have and add some hobbies in your life that might give a little joy to you. And they're talking about how life should be flavorful. And I loved how they used the analogy of being at the grocery store and seeing this, all the shelves of all the seasonings. And that was really it was them giving us a visual to know that life is filled with so many different things for us. The shelf is always full and stocked, and it's for our choosing of what seasoning, what flavor we want to have in our lives, right? And I just kind of loved how they kind of use flavor, for our life. And isn't it true when we have a really great meal that's really tasty and flavorful, and it really is enjoyable, and we could utilize that a little bit in our life by saying, is this enjoyable? Is what I'm doing flavorful? Do I like this anymore? And sometimes we have to honor the fact that maybe there's things that we've been doing for a long time in our life that just isn't fun anymore. Maybe it's not really giving us the seasoning that we want. It's not giving us that flavor that we like. We're not really getting the enjoyment that we want. So it's time to maybe go to the grocery store and look at that seasoning, right? And for us just to know that there's so much out there for us to choose from, to select from, to pull from the shelf, to add into our life. And it's for us to really show up and start looking at the different seasonings in our life, whatever that hobby would be, whatever that activity would be, whatever that TV show, even TV shows, maybe watching something else, just mixing it up. If you're always watching comedy, watch documentaries, just mix it up. And like they said, you don't have to take big steps. You can take little steps. That's good too. And just make the little steps. And so I just kind of liked how they kind of use that as they use the recipe of life. And, you hear it all the time, life is to be joyful, and it really is. And there's nothing worse than eating a meal you can't stand that tastes terrible and it's bland. And, maybe there's certain areas in our life that we can spice up. And I think that's just something for us to think about. So we can all maybe look at a particular area that might need a little flavor. And it's just something to think about, that maybe by adding a little bit of pick me up, a little a little flavor in that area might kind of shift and change the way we show up in our life a little bit. That maybe we just need a little kick. So anyway, that's kind of my take from it, was a little bit of that. My apologies not reading it so good. It really just got so dark I could hardly read the words. So I don't have to, next time I have to bring like a little light here that I could turn on, because it just got really dark all of a sudden. So my apologies for it not necessarily coming out as good as it was intended to. But I hope you get the gist. And the gist really is to, maybe sometimes we've got to spice up our life a little bit. And I'm going to certainly take a look in areas in my life where I can add a little more excitement, right? A little bit more flavor. Because I'm sure there's areas for sure that I could do that. So maybe it's something for you to think about. I don't know. That's what I just think. What do you guys think about that? Evie, I don't like boring routines. Even my walks with my dog, I change routes and my dog loves different smells. That's true. I believe that. It's more enjoyable even for our pets. Absolutely. And I think sometimes we fall into the habit of becoming a little bit bored or doing things that are a little bit boring. And I don't think we do it on purpose. I think we just we fall into these habits. And I think the guides, Edgar, are just wanting to remind us like, hey, here's something to look at. Like, take a look, take a little, let's look at some of these recipes in your life. Are you still enjoying all these meals? Are you still enjoying these recipes? Or is it maybe time to kind of incorporate something new and fresh into your menu plan, into your weekly schedule, right? That's what it is. Like if you make a meal plan for the week, is there something in your weekly plan during the week and in life? Is there some things that you can add into that just to make it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more flavorful, enjoyable, and and I just think it's important that we sometimes check in with ourselves, and we check in with how we're going about our day, and do we have that bounce in our step? Are we as joyful in certain areas in our life as we can be? And if we're not, then we need to look at that and say, is it maybe time to pull a new recipe out of the cookbook of life and, play a little bit? And that's kind of what their message really was for us is, what is that for us? And only we know that, right? We only know that. So we know the areas we need to kind of focus on and where we maybe are being a little bland in our life, where we could spice it up a little bit. And again, small steps, even if it's just incorporating a few little things that might get us a little excited and curious a little bit to kind of, get some spice going. I don't know. What do you think? Hi, Catherine. Wonderful analogy. Thank you, darling. I love you, Monica. Everything you say is spot on for the moment in life. Thank you, Maria. That's really the guides, right? So I just always feel moved and impressed when I feel that they have a message for us. And, whether this fits all of us that are on board or watching or listening, or a few of us, but perhaps maybe it's a little something that will hit us all a little bit in some areas in our life, whether it be career or or relationships, or just taking care of our own self-care, hobbies, interests. Maybe we fall in a little flat there, and maybe it's now a time to kind of say, well, you know what, maybe I'm going to try something. I'm going to do some paint by numbers, or I'm going to, play a little bit. I'm going to get some jigsaw puzzles, or I'm just going to try to do something else with some of my free time and mix it up a bit, and start adding to that cookbook of life. That's kind of what they're trying to say. Hi, Joanne. Thank you, doll. And again, I'm sorry I didn't read it so well. Let's see here. That's me cooking, just improvising recipes, which comes out differently. Same in our lives, creating things in the moment. Exactly. Stephanie says, I understand. I'll email again. Okay, Stephanie, thank you. I tried to book a private reading, but I haven't heard back. Okay. Maybe you ended up in my, okay, if you're going to email me, I'll for you, darling. I'm sorry if I did not email you. Okay, let me just see where you guys are. Okay, perfect. So you guys get that, right? So next week, hi, Lori. Oh, that was awesome. Good, honey. It's hard, but I understand. It is kind of hard, right? And listen, when they were talking about like cooking, I mean, let me just tell you, I don't know how to cook. So when I'm channeling this message, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're talking about cooking. Like, I mean, I am so off the charts with that. So I love how they used a meatloaf, because that's probably like one of the 5 things I know how to make. But but the bigger message really was, even for me was, maybe I need to, add some more things in my life. Maybe I play it too safe too, right? So sometimes we do that, right? We play it a little bit safe. I know in the cooking area, the actual cooking area, I play it safe, right? For any of you guys that are amazing cooks, that are like chefs or really good bakers, you understand the expression that you can have in life, in the kitchen when you're able to cook, right? Because it is an expression. And the guide said first off that we must express in our life. That's important. That expression is very important for us. And they're using cooking as an analogy, but really it's about expressing our lives in our relationships, in our careers, in our personal life, in our, it's about learning to find ways to stay excited and interested with things in our lives, so we can express ourselves, right? And they just use cooking as an analogy to get us to understand that. As they always do, right? I just love Edgar. They're always fun. Okay, perfect. So I just want to kind of say next week I'm going to come on and I'm going to do a talk on the universe. So we're going to kind of talk about the universe a little bit next Thursday, same time, where we can kind of talk a little bit about how the universe is talking to us, how the universe is communicating with us, how the universe is trying to move us in a direction to help lift our desires, help make our desires kind of come to be. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So it'll be a wonderful interaction. You guys can post comments and things about any questions you have about the universe, or how you feel the universe is responding to you in your life. I'll share a little something that came to me from the universe that got me thinking about wanting to do this live next week on the universe. Again, I'm always getting guided and I listen, and that's really a big thing. We need to be aware of how we are getting communication, and so I'm super aware, and I love I love that I am, and because it really does help me in my life. And so learning to be more aware on how things are coming to us will always aid us in our life and on our role and how we step into it and where we're going. It's always communicating with us, the universe. And so we'll talk a little bit about that next week, right? So for any of you guys that are going to join me for Saturday sessions with Edgar, really look forward to it. You got to get tickets by tomorrow night, because it's going to be this Saturday, and I'll send out Zoom links tomorrow. Any of you guys that want to, be a part of Kisses from Heaven, which is spirit readings where I'll deliver messages to lots of people that join in. That's going to be March 20th. Tickets on my website. I think they're $29. Yeah. So I'll be giving lots of readings away that night. And so that'll be something kind of fun. Also, if you guys are interested in understanding more, learning more about mediumship, I'm going to be having a course in April, which is Thursday, the 22nd, and Saturday, the 24th, both in April, 9 a.m. Pacific time, both days. You can join either one of those, and you can get tickets on my website as well for that. So I'm always just wanting to kind of educate, help us in whatever ways. And all of this stuff really helps us, guys, all of it, whether it be talking about the universe, whether it be talking about our spirit guides, whether it's sharing letters from the guides about helping us in our life and how we can maybe enhance our lives a little bit to be more joyful in our life and step in with more happiness. No, whatever it is, I always feel that everything is kind of interconnected. All of it's a little interconnected. So whatever resonates for you, I love to be able to share different ways. And so again, so my lives are all about that sharing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. And you guys have any questions for me? Let's just see. Any questions, guys? Let's see. Hi, Juliana. Hi, Enro. Hey, Ron. How are you? How you guys all doing? Let me just kind of say that here. Hello. All these little waves. Oh, look at all my hearts. You guys are so sweet. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Insta. Love that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys got something from the message today, from the guides. Again, I'm sorry it got really dark. I couldn't read it. I feel terrible. I have to figure that one out. It just dropped like quick. Let's see. Anything else? Hi, Kim. Great message. Thank you for sharing. Love that. You guys are amazing. Let me just see. Catherine. Hi, Catherine. How are you? Let's just see. Hi, Maria. Definitely needed to pull a new recipe. Maria. Me too. I really realize I need a couple new recipes in my cookbook of life as well. So you're not alone, girl. You're not alone. I'm with you. So let's just see here. Evie says she's excited for next week's topic. Thanks so much for tonight. Melissa says, great letter. I will think of ways I can spice up my life. I am one who does the same thing over and over. Yeah, you know what, Melissa, but don't beat yourself up on that, because we all do that sometimes. We're all kind of being that way sometimes. I do it too, but I think what I love about the guides is they just always kind of keep us in check a little bit, don't they? They're always like keeping us in check a little bit, like, oh, maybe, it's time to have a little message about this, because maybe we're seeing that there's a lot of them down there in the physical world that are kind of doing a lot of stuff and not having a lot of fun. So I love how they just kind of come in to kind of lift our spirits and kind of guide us really to more joy and different ways we can do it. And again, it's always our decision, isn't it? Like, we know what makes us happy. We know what makes us joyful. We know the things that we are drawn towards, but do we take action? And I think it's really important to take some action. And like they said, small steps, big steps, either's okay. But, let's just look at different ways to add flavor. So let's see. Our spirit guide angels. Yes, definitely. Thank you. They sure are. Panic and anxiety has made me stuck. And, again, panic and anxiety, where does that really come from? It comes from being too far in the future. So I think that when we start to get really anxious, I think it's really just us getting our mind too far forward and trying to control outcomes. And I think if we can stop trying to control outcomes, I know that's hard, but we can even just become aware of trying to not control outcomes and not try to put ourselves too far ahead, you'll find that anxiety will lessen a bit, because oftentimes anxiety is really connected with what's out there when we put our focus too far ahead and we don't stay present. When we leave the present moment, that anxiety will gradually build. So the more we can stay present into how am I feeling right now? What am I doing right now? What am I enjoying right now? What am I even eating that I like right now? When we stay present, we're not too far in the future, and then that anxiety will lessen. So maybe, darling, start practicing ways that you can be more present in small ways, like I'm eating my meal right now. I'm chewing right now. What does this taste like? How many bites am I doing? Be present with whatever it is you're doing will keep you present and not in the future. And I'm pretty sure you'll feel less anxious if you do that. So give it a try. What do you think? What do you guys think? Huh? All right, guys. So, love the heart. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. I love that you guys come on and we can share and hang out. I love this. I love hanging out. I hope I see maybe some of you guys at my Kisses from Heaven on the 20th for some messages. Tickets are on my website. Maybe I'll see you at Saturday sessions this Saturday. Would love that. Next Thursday on my next live as we talk about the universe. That will be cool. Would love to do that. If any of you guys are interested in the mediumship, learning about that, I welcome you to do that. You can learn more about it on my website. Okay, so I'm going to chime out. My son is in town and he is leaving tomorrow, and he's here from Colorado, and so we're going to go eat tacos, because if you guys follow me, I love tacos. So I'm going to eat tacos. So it's funny because all my kids, when they come to visit, when they leave, they always want Mexican food. They always want to go have really good Mexican food. And I guess they don't get such good Mexican food in Colorado or New York. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe it's just a California thing. But they always want Mexican food. And so my son wants Mexican food before he goes home tomorrow. And you never have to twist my arm, because I'm all about chicken tacos. So all about it always. And chips and guac. Always. It's my fave. So I'm going to go get some really good flavor tonight. I'm going to be doing a meal that I really love, Mexican. So anyway, you guys be amazing. Thanks for chiming in. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys next Thursday, I hope, or maybe at one of my events. And I love you all so much. Thank you so much. And you guys are awesome. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Okay? Bye.